Yes, it's me, Market Vendor here again today. Well, in the aftermath of the elections of 2022, Market Vendor doing a little analysis here. Now listen, don't shoot the messenger. If you don't like the message, you could curse and you could carry on, but it's not going to change the outcome of the situation. Like I said, I'm only a Market Vendor, and I'm really dishing out my own advice and my own observations. Now, the first observation that Market would make is this here. You really should not bring back people that have been rejected and seen to have been, part of the least popular people back in 2018. Somehow it seemed like in bringing back certain people, that people might feel like you're really rubbing something in the face that they really don't want to see or hear or smell. That's one point. Second point I would say is this here. Now listen, Mr. Stewart is a man who is very erudite and very well educated. There's no question about that. And it is wonderful to hear him talking about words that, Market just really have to go to the thesaurus to try to find the meaning of them. A farrago of lies. Now, he had to go and check that one and make sure that the explanation that he gave was in fact the right explanation, which it was, you understand. But for the gentleman to come and say that he, Freundel Jerome Stewart, had nothing to apologize for, and that the period between 2008 and 2018 were 10 glorious years. I had to ask myself, glorious for who? Well, glorious for who? I am sure that for some people it was a glorious period. I'm sure that some people enjoyed that period, but not the rest of me. So that was kind of like a bitter pill to swallow. And it seemed almost like you said, well, I ain't got nothing to be sorry for. You understand where Market coming from? And bringing him back suggested to me that you really was reminded us of things that we really wanted to forget. Thirdly, I would say this here, that you really need to learn to understand how to use digital media. And don't tell me that it's expensive, because that's foolishness. You understand? You got Twitter, you got Instagram, you got Facebook, you got TikTok, and you got YouTube. All of those are free platforms. And this thing that I'm talking about here, so a phone, a smartphone, you can do all kinds of things with it that in years gone by you would have needed about 3, 4, or 5 people to be able to do. So you got to learn how to do it. And if you know, get some young people and them would help you. You understand? And last and by no means least, you need to change your approach. You cannot come with the same strategy that you used 3 or 4 days before the last election and get cat spraddled with it, where the right, Mr. Oyenatha came forward and made some allegations that turned out within 24 hours to be embarrassing and untrue. And you come now this time around, and Lucy, you come with the same strategy 3 or 4 days before the election, attacking the Prime Minister and claiming that the Prime Minister, you were afraid of the Prime Minister, and making claims about being despotic and all those kinds of things. It didn't work then. It was not going to work now. I know what kind of strategy and strategist that is, but it seemed to me that that was really something that you should have known would not work. And it did not work. You understand where Market coming from? I am only a Market Vendor. You may not want to hear these things, but what I'm telling you is what people out there saying to as well. You understand where Market Vendor coming from? So you could curse the vendor if you want. You could rant and rave. I don't write none of it. I'm just giving you advice and tell you what my observations are. Honest and simple observations. You don't have to be a political scientist. But if you really want to hear one, I think you should listen to Dr. Tennyson Joseph. Because Dr. Joseph really dished out some advice there so the other night on election night that made a lot of sense to me as a Market Vendor. And I hope it makes sense to you too as well. And he's a political scientist of great note. So you ought to take note of what he is saying. Say sorry for the period, the things that happened between 2008 and 2018. And then go and do some introspection. You understand? Cleanse yourself and come back with a new approach. It can take you a little time, but you can get there eventually. As I said, I'm only a Market Vendor. I'm minding my own business. You understand? So if you don't like what you hear, you ain't gonna listen to it. You understand where Market coming from. You have a blessed and a wonderful day. Yeah?